Good morning, students. So, in our today's module, we'll be starting up with our new chapter, that is structure of the atom, last chapter of our chemistry. So, children, we have learned that atoms and molecules, fine, they are the fundamental building blocks of matter. And we all know that Dalton in 1808, he suggested that atom is the smallest indivisible particle of matter. Fine, and he had also put forward a theory that was Dalton's atomic theory. Now, this theory was able to explain the laws of chemical combination, which we had already discussed. But children, however, Dalton's concept of atoms could not explain that why do atoms of different element differ from each other in masses and properties. Why do atoms combine to form molecule? Fine. So these were the questions that were unexplained by the Daltons. Now, children, to look for all these questions, a lot of studies were carried out to know whether the atom is really indivisible. Fine. So let's just study a little experiment. Like if we comb dry hair, fine, and then bring the comb near to small piece of paper, what exactly happens, bache? Yes, quickly tell me. You know, everybody. I think once in a lifetime we all do these kind of experiments, right? What will happen? The comb is found to attract the piece of paper, right? And if we rub a glass rod with a silk cloth and then bring the glass rod near that inflated balloon, so what happens? It is attracted towards the glass rod. Now, children, uh, as electrically charged objects can attract the uncharged object. Fine. Like in the first case, comb acquires electrical charge. Fine. This is the comb. It acquires the electrical charge. Fine, children. And in the second case, glass rod acquires the electrical charge. So, glass rod, comb, constitute matter, and matter, we know, it is made up of atoms. So there must be some charged particle present in the matter. Fine. So atom is divisible. Now, children, there are a lot of experiment that has been carried out, fine, in order to know the structure of atoms and all, the discovery of electron, proton, neutron. So we know now that the particles that carry an electric charge, it's said to be the charged particle. Fine. So that's this thing I have already discussed with you, that when we rub two objects, so they become electrically charged. Fine, children. So two such particles were there, the charged particle. One was electron, another one was this proton. Fine. Now, children, we should know the discovery of electron, proton. Fine. So what exactly happens? Firstly, we'll be discussing about the electron. Fine. So the existence of electron in an atom was shown by J.J. Thomson. Remember this thing. Okay. It was shown by J.J. Thomson. Okay. So when he performed the experiment of cathode ray tube using a discharge tube. So I would like to show you first the this complete structure. See here. So this was the production of cathode ray in a discharge tube. What he has done, bache, listen to me very carefully. A discharge tube is basically, you can see with G. This G is, matlab this complete thing is a discharge tube. Fine. So a discharge tube is a long tube, a long glass tube that you can see with the G symbol here. And it is closed at both the ends. So you can see both the ends are closed here, bache. Take care. And two circular metal plates A and B, they are sealed at the two ends of the tube. That also you can see A and B. Fine, they are the metal plates. Remember this thing, bache, these plates are called as electrodes. So, and a side tube that is S is also fused to the tube, which can be connected to a vacuum pump to suck out the air or gas present inside the tube. Why? In order to reduce the pressure inside the tube. And where is that vacuum pump? Here you can see the S. Fine. So what is the function of this vacuum pump, bache? The gas that is being discharged, fine, that is present in that discharge tube. So this S basically what it does, it suck out the air or gas that is present inside the tube. Fine. So that the pressure can be reduced. Now children, the two plates, that is A and B, that you can see, this is A, this is B. Fine. So these two plates are connected to a source of this electrical power, that you can see, the induction coil, which provides the high voltage. Okay. Now children, the plate A, which is connected to a negative terminal of the source, is cathode, that you can see is negatively charged. And what about anode? It is positively charged. Fine children. Now what exactly happened? We should know how does this production of cathode ray takes place. So on applying a high voltage between the electrodes, you can see these are the two electrodes, bache. So we have applied the high voltage here. Okay, let's just say 10,000. So we have applied the high voltage. Now lot of results were there. Okay, at ordinary pressure, no flow of current was there. Remember this thing. At ordinary pressure, no flow of current. Why? Because bache, air or any of the gas that has been discharged in this tube, at normal pressure, it is a poor conductor of electricity. So no flow of current was there. But at 1 mm pressure, fine, when this much pressure was there, so a glow in the entire tube has been seen by these scientists. So if the air inside the tube is sucked out by connecting, see, you can see the S here, this is a vacuum pump. So some of the gas, fine, it has been sucked out from the vacuum pump so that the pressure falls to 1 mm. Fine children, and a voltage of 10,000 volt is applied. Now so that the current, what happens, the moment we applied the 10,000 volt, this voltage, so the current begins to flow between the electrodes through the air inside, and hence the entire discharge tube begin to glow uniformly with a very beautiful color, that is magenta red. Fine children, magenta red. But see, it depends upon the gas, which gas has been taken inside the discharge tube. If neon gas is taken, so the light emitted is reddish orange. Fine. Now children, cathode rays that we were talking about, fine, the electron, the negative charge. So they were produced in this discharge tube at a pressure of 0.001 mm. At which pressure? 0.001 mm. So what we have done, when the pressure of the gas that is present inside the tube, it has fallen to 0.001 mm. Fine. So there is no light emitted by the air. We know the gas is present here inside this discharge tube. The gas is present. So at this much pressure, that is 0.001, the discharge inside the tube completely disappears and there is no light emitted by the air now. So it was completely dark. Fine children. But the glass wall of the tube, fine, it was exactly opposite to the cathode and it glows with a greenish yellow light, which we call it as fluorescence. Fine, we call it as fluorescence. So this observation clearly shows that some invisible rays are coming from the cathode. So you can see there are some invisible rays that are coming from the cathode, fine, and that is too in a straight line. So what happens? And they strike the glass wall opposite to the cathode, and since these rays were coming from the cathode, so we call them cathode rays. They always move in a straight line, bache, fine, and they produce a green fluorescence on the glass wall of the discharge tube. Fine, these were the things, and they produce X-ray also sometimes when they strike against the surface of any hard metal like tungsten, molybdenum. Fine. So I hope this thing is clear, bache. This thing has been explained here. You can see during this experiment he found a beam of negatively charged particle, that is cathode ray, and he called it as electron. So electrons are negatively charged particle, bache, that is denoted by the symbol E, and the charge that is present on an electron is minus 1.6 into 10 raised to power 19 coulomb. Fine. So and the mass of the electron is equal to 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kg. Now children, let's just come on to the discovery of proton. Fine, the discovery of proton. So this is also the same, fine, as what we had discussed about this thing. So since the atom as a whole is electrically neutral, fine, and the presence of negatively charged electron in it, So it was thought that some positively charged particle must also be present in the atom. So the existence of positively charged particle in an atom was shown by Goldstein. I would like to show here, as you can see here. Okay, so what exactly happens, बच्चे? This was the complete production of anode ray or positive ray or canal rays. Okay, one and the same thing. So on applying a high voltage, that is 10,000 volts, okay, and that is to between the anode and cathode. Remember this thing, between the anode and cathode. So we have applied what? 10,000 volt high voltage. So it was observed that just as fluorescence was observed on the glass wall of the tube at E, okay, at this very thing, due to cathode rays coming from the cathode and hitting the wall at A. So a fluorescence is also observed on the glass wall of the tube at F. Here also the fluorescence has been observed. So this shows that some rays are coming from the side of the anode. Fine, bache, they are coming from the side of the anode, okay, which pass through the holes in the cathode. You can see which pass through the holes in the cathode. Fine. And then strike the glass wall of the tube at F. So that is why this fluorescence could be seen. So since rays are coming from the side of the anode, therefore we are calling them anode rays or canal rays, and hence they are also called positive rays because they carry the positive charge. Fine, children. So hence we can say, so this was, it led to the discovery of another subatomic particle, that was proton. Fine. So the same thing happened here, and who was responsible? Goldstein. Fine. So he discovered this new radiation, that is canal rays or anode rays. Fine, children. So you can see here that these rays were positively charged radiations which are seen moving from the anode towards cathode. Fine. And that is true in a specially designed discharge tube. So when a high voltage is applied across the electrode, porous cathode is used to provide the path for passing anode rays, and this has led to the proton. Proton, children, it is positively charged, and the charge is plus 1.6 into 10 raised to power 19 coulomb, minus 19 coulomb, and the weight is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kg. Fine. So what was the conclusion? The mass of a proton is taken as 1 unit and its charge is plus 1, where the mass of electron is considered to be negligible and its charge is minus 1. Fine, children. So this was about all your anode rays, your cathode rays, discovery of electrons and all these things. Fine, children. So I hope this topic is clear. Similarly, children, we have one structure of, we'll be discussing about structure of atom also. Fine. So structure of atom, you can see that according to Dalton's atomic theory, atom was indivisible. We know this thing, atom was indivisible according to Dalton's atomic theory. So to know the arrangement of electrons and protons, many scientists proposed various models. So one of the model is Thomson model of an atom. It was the easiest one, I think. J.J. Thomson was the first scientist to propose this model. So he has given the structure of an atom. Thomson model of an atom was similar to Christmas pudding. Fine. How Christmas pudding? Like there are, I'll be telling you this thing. So the electron in a sphere of positively charged were like currents. Fine. That is dry fruits in a spherical Christmas pudding. Okay, so the electrons were the currents. You can see here, it can also be compared to a watermelon, bache. How watermelon? In which the positively charged in an atom is spread all over the red edible part. So this complete red edible part is positively charged. Fine. I am not going to fill it completely, but this red part is that you eat, the fleshy part, that is positively charged. Fine. That is positively charged. That is spread all over the part. And while the electrons are studded in a positively charged pair, like the seeds in the watermelon. So these electrons resembles the black seeds. So this was his experiment. But so he has given the postulates that electrons are embedded in the sphere of positive charge. Negative and positive charge are equal in magnitude. Therefore the atom is wholly electrically neutral, and the mass of atom is assumed to be uniformly distributed throughout the atom. But there was some limitation. What was the limitation? He could not explain the experimental result of other scientists such as Rutherford, as there is no nucleus in the atomic model proposed by Thomson. It could not explain the stability of an atom. How positive and negative charge could remain so close together. Fine. So these were the limitations. Remember this thing. This thing is very important, bache. So if this question comes in your paper, you need to write it with the limitation if it has been asked so. All right, children. Thank you.